This is like penetrating that in a really negative way, because yes, he might live this lifestyle, he might think these things and say these outlandish things. One, he's probably saying fucking news. Two, when a weak-minded man listens to this, they're thinking that's the fucking answer. That's why I'm a loser, or I am weak-minded. I need to start thinking like, fuck women. That'll have validation of myself. But yet, that's like the issue with Andrew Tate, is that he's putting this image and like mindset into people that should not have, not that anyone should have that mindset, but they should definitely not be watching this, because they're just getting, it's like they're getting brainwashed in a direction that they can't even handle.
Don't you love this? Don't you love, and how many in the audience, in the chat, how many Andrew Tate fans? I'm just curious because you've just been infantilized by this guy. He has infantilized you the way modern feminists do women all the time. You apparently are dumb and you're not strong enough. You're basically a bunch of weak ass bitches. You're sitting at home, you're watching Andrew Tate, and you're just absorbing. You can't possibly process what he's saying because you're so weak that you're going to misinterpret it. You can't be trusted to have infantilized. By the way, just so this guy knows, the weak ass bitches aren't listening to Andrew Tate. That's not who's listening to Andrew Tate, honey. The weak ass bitches are watching pornography all day long. They're playing video games all day long. They are doing drugs. They're overweight. They're sitting on the couch with a bag of Cheetos. They're becoming obese. They are, not financially stable, not working toward anything. Those are the weak-minded people. They're not going to be drawn to a guy who's very rough on guys. Very. He's like, get off your ass. No excuses. Weak people are not drawn to that. They want someone who's going to help them continue to be weak. They don't want someone who's going to invite them to be strong. You have to have an inner strength for Andrew Tate to appeal to you. Yeah, I said it. You have to have an inner strength. You have to want your life to look better. Weak people are not drawn to that. They want easy answers. They want someone else to do it for them. And they don't want someone challenging them on stuff they know they're doing wrong. So I find this hilarious. Obviously, you see now what I said, this guy watched Andrew Tate shorts, and he was like, oh yeah, I got it. Like, I got it. Push the sleeves up. It's like, I know what I'm going to say about this. Also, interestingly enough, this line, getting brainwashed in a direction that they can't even handle. This happens in politics all the time. You have liberals that talk to people like this all the time. They infantilize you. They say, like, oh, you don't really understand all the bad stuff that Donald Trump wants to do. Just trust us. We're there. You just can't understand how deeply corrupt he is. Don't worry, you guys, but just vote Biden. It's okay. This happens all the time. This is from the playbook. This is the leftist playbook. Now, I don't know this guy's politics. And the thing is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because the point is, this guy is a young guy. I think he's in his 20s. I'm pretty sure he's in his 20s. I don't know how old in his 20s he is. He's a young guy. So he's echoing this feminist, moderate garbage, even though he doesn't realize it, right? He's echoing it. And he has been programmed without even acknowledging. He doesn't even know it. He doesn't even know it. But let an older generation guy watch this, I'm telling you, or someone who's awake to the system, or someone who doesn't regurgitate talking points, is going to be like, dude, splash some water in your face. What are you saying? What, did you even do research? A little bit? Right? And everybody needs a reality check every now and then. So now the other guy weighs in. You had him, the one boyfriend. Now the boyfriend whose girlfriend said the Newsom's just found themselves there. Now he's going to weigh in on Andrew Tate. And this may be even better. So let's go to 3011.
I think people like Andrew Tate, basically what they do is they find like a group of people and they prey on their insecurities and their problems. So basically, if you're a guy who's struggling to get girls, the way that you're going to justify it is by seeing Andrew Tate on your group, or you, Paige, who's saying that, talking shit about women and saying they're all these bad things. Now, social media, the way social never see, like your mom.
Okay, I mean, it's just, how is Andrew Tate preying on people's insecurities and problems? He is directly calling out those insecurities and problems. He is talking to people and saying, you're lazy, get off your ass. Get off your ass. He is inviting you to do better. He is telling you that what you're doing isn't working, is bad for you, and you need to do better as a man. That's not preying on people's insecurities and problems. That's challenging them to overcome those insecurities and problems and get their shit together. What is being missed here? Well, I'll tell you. What's being missed is that they don't know anything about Andrew Tate. They just know what they were told, and they know what those two girls in the middle are comfortable with them saying about it. And they're not straying. Because the power dynamic in their relationship is such that they don't stray on certain topics. They know. Good job.
Actually, I would chat, yes, I would like to get your opinion from Pro Debates. He says, question, does Jed think that someone should share around the alpha males, as in one alpha male should be with the women?
So the way I feel about that is every relationship needs to figure out how it works. Like, I can't sit here and tell somebody else what to do in their relationship. And as long as it's consensual, and as long as it's no one's getting hurt, and and people are on board together, do what you want. So I don't know what's estimate what works and what doesn't. I personally, I'm gonna not. That's my relationship. That's how I structure my life. I don't have resentment toward people that choose a different option. I do think that when women are in a relationship with a guy, if that guy is shared with other women, I do believe that most times that woman will begin to feel unsafe. Even if she signs in the dotted line and says, this is a contract, this is agreed upon, I believe that she will begin to feel unsafe and unhappy because there's women really value intimacy in a different way than men, and it's very hard for women to detach emotion from sex unless they've been programmed, brainwashed, whatnot. But that is naturally our instinct, is to connect sex with emotion. That's how it's supposed to be. And I think that when the guy leaves, even if the guy leaves and isn't in love with another woman, I think it's really hard for women to process that. So I think it ultimately causes women to be guarded against their man, and it will create an unhealthy dynamic in the relationship a lot of times. It will be just too challenging for even a woman who signs up for that to swallow. Now, there are exceptions, for sure. I think there are exceptions to every single rule. My recipe is monogamy because I actually believe that when you have two people in a relationship where sex is just between them, you get a level of trust and intimacy that's unparalleled. And particularly when you bring children into the picture, that creates a very stable dynamic. And I'm always looking at it from the perspective of family and community and, building out the best society at large. However, people want different things, right? There are women who maybe have no problem with that dynamic. So I'm not going to shit on what makes them happy. Let them do what they want. But if you're asking if I think it works most of the time, or if it's a recipe for success most of the time, I would say no. I say the same, by the way, about two-way relationships for very much the same reason. One is that the women, again, will have a very hard time with that as it continues, as it persists. And also, I don't think a lot of guys are going to be able to think about their girl sleeping with somebody else. Like, I don't think guys want to think about that happening 10 years ago, let alone tomorrow, yesterday. It's a very complicated structure. I think you have to be wired very specifically to be able to swallow that as a man or a woman. There are people, but generally, I don't think it's a recipe for success. I think that's how it plays out. Got that one good? Okay, cool. All right, we're going to go back to this conversation that we're having here, craziness. All right, so the guy weighs in on Andrew Tate, preying on insecurities, nonsense, blah, blah, blah. Now, he continues, and he talks about how he believes that people take 5 attributes about themselves, and they create talking points. He's talking specifically about Tate, but largely about us. Listen to this. Let's go. We're at 41:18.
Like we've discussed that people in the YouTube space will talk about this kind of stuff, but politicians do this, where they basically take 5 attributes about themselves and make sure they always stay on those 5 attributes. So for Andrew Tate, it's probably like toxic masculinity. Like, this guy probably maps out, like, what he
No,
does
he
to
doesn't.
make sure he stays on
He
the
does.
with what his message is, because he doesn't want to trip up, because if he trips up, then that audience is gonna be like, ooh, that's not why I like you in
Yeah,
the first
the
place.
problem with that, and staying on brand with those characteristics, is that all these other dudes think that that's 100% Andrew.
Yeah.
When they see success, they're like, I need to do what Andrew does to get this success. But Andrew doesn't even fucking
Dude,
do that.
this dude, not saying it's the case, but this dude's probably in bed, like, crying himself to sleep at night, because this isn't actually the way that he like, all out thinks. That
Okay.
you can't take.
So based on what? Based on what did you say that? So you have decided now, you don't know Andrew Tate, you clearly haven't watched any of his long-form commentary, it's very obvious. You have decided that A, he's talking point driven, that he creates a little list of talking points and he gets up and he's like, all right, hit this, this, and this. You can't possibly wrap your head around the idea that it's just a guy who feels the way that he feels, right? And he says controversial stuff that's not always popular and he doesn't give, doesn't care. He's saying what he's got to say. Why does that rub you so wrong? No, it's got to be contrived. It's got to be contrived. You've decided that about him, and you've also decided that he's actually quite weak, in your view. You've decided that he is in bed crying himself to sleep at night. Based on what? It's based on the need you have to make him weak in order to make yourself feel strong. That's why you're doing that, because his strength bothers you. Because the fact that he doesn't give a shit about what anybody thinks about what he said bothers you, because you do care. You do care. And I can see it when your girlfriend says something, you're like, oh, you do care. You do care. Well, that's why you are reciting modern feminist talking points, cloaked as male commentary right now. You do care. And it bothers you that he doesn't care. So you have to now make him small. Well, he's really sad on the inside. He's really, this kid isn't really who he is. He's just doing it for clicks. The fact that he could actually just be saying what he thinks is very intimidating to a lot of men, because they don't have a gonads to do it. They don't have gonads to do it. They're not willing to be canceled. They're not willing to anger modern media. They're not willing to anger modern feminism, and it bothers them deeply that this guy doesn't care. He doesn't care. If he wanted to craft his commentary to be palatable to everyone, right? Don't you think he would craft it that way? Then he's not doing that. He knows he's going to piss off 50% of people every time he opens his mouth. He doesn't care because he says, I'm saying what needs to be said. I believe this is my opinion. Feel free to challenge me, but I believe I'm making the world a better place with my commentary, and that's why I'm saying it. That's where he's coming from. You don't have to agree, but you can't decide that somebody's inauthentic just because you don't like what they say. What do you know about that? Do you know what's going on in his head? No. So why not just challenge what he's saying on the merits? You disagree? Fine. Have a debate about it. Pull up some Andrew Tate commentary and go toe for toe and say how you feel about it. No. That would take strength of character. That's not what this is. You're being decided that he's a broken man because you need him to be broken. You need him to be broken because it makes you feel good and strong and tough. That's weak. Just saying. This is the best part, the coup de grace. This is the coup de grace. You got, listen, guys who know this content know it's coming. I remember Rollo talking to me about this the first time we sat down. All right, go to 40, 30, 13, we'll talk about it. This is the best. The nugget. The golden nugget.
What if he went through some form of trauma with a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it affected him so negatively that he needs some kind of outlet to relate to, that he can then solve that problem, even if it's in an artificial way.
Yeah.
So rather than addressing the root of the insecurity of the problem, he's trying to mask it with somebody else who's just like, hey man, I know you have these issues.
So now, okay, now this guy went one step further, he's like, this Andrew Tate suffered trauma. He suffered trauma, and as a result, he's trying to mask it with his commentary. Can you imagine this madness? Now this is from what I call the weak-minded playbook. Just write it down. The weak-minded playbook. You're going to see it again and again and again. You're going to see it in social commentary. You're going to see it in manosphere. You're going to see it in political commentary. People who are weak-minded will persistently and consistently try to psychoanalyze you so that they can decide there's something wrong with you because they are intimidated by what you're saying and they cannot there's something wrong with you, you're traumatized, you're crazy, you're acting out. It can't just be that you have an opinion, that you stand by, because they are afraid to go against that opinion, to challenge that opinion, because they haven't talked about it. They're like, if you had an issue with Andrew Tate, you were confident about it, wouldn't you just say, listen, he's saying this, this, and this, here's why he's wrong. No, he's traumatized, he's got talking points, he cries himself to sleep at night like a little baby. Projection, honey. Projection is all I'm gonna say. I have a question too. And I'm gonna ask Natalia about this as well, after I do my little rant about it. Do these guys seem feminized to you, audience? Do they seem feminine? I'm not talking about appearance, although I do believe, no disrespect, that the guy, right, he does look a little bit like he brought Ken Doll to life. I'm just saying, he does have that look to him. And I think, by the way, they're all very good-looking people, so I'm not trying to be nasty about it. I think they're all very good-looking people, very. But is there something feminized about these guys, not appearance, from inside out? If you had, let me ask it this way. If you had, that voice technology